Hey y'all, welcome to another video from WreckItOut.com. So with the cold weather down here in Texas, I'm kind of in the roast mood, so I'm going to show you how to make a Mississippi venison roast, keto style. So the first thing you're going to do, if you've already processed the roast, this is a top sirloin. It's a part of the hind quarter that looks like a football. Just pull it out of the freezer, thaw it out, and then you'll have to dry it off pretty good. Because when it freezes, some of that water is released. So I'm just going to get it nice and dry. So one thing about the top sirloin or the top round is it's got a lot of silver skin on it. So just get a boning knife and take all that silver skin off because that doesn't render out well in the roast. And once you have it all off, it'll kind of look like this. And we're going to cook this in a crock pot. It's slightly different if you use a pressure cooker. You just need to add a little bit of liquid. But if you're using just a traditional crock pot, just take your roast and put it in. This is one of the easiest roasts to make. Take some ranch, a ranch packet, and put the whole packet in. This is about a 2.5 pound roast. So I use the whole packet just because I like the taste of it. And this doesn't have carbs in it. So if you're doing it keto style, you don't need to worry about this as much. So again, sprinkle all that on the roast, and it doesn't really matter. Once the roast starts cooking, it's going to release a lot of juices, and this will all become a broth. So once that roast is covered, you're also going to take some au jus mix, and this does have some carbs in it. So I use about a third of the package. That seems to do the trick for me. It just gives it some flavor, and then you can save the rest of it for the next roast you do. The next step is some Irish butter. So this is just grass-fed butter. I use about 2 tablespoons. You can add more. Some people use a whole stick, which is fine. I just tried to keep down the fats. And then you'll just cover it up and put the top on. And just clean it up a little bit here. I made a bit of a mess. And so you want to cook this slow. So what I normally do, for a roast this size, I will put it on low, and I'll cook it for about 8 to 10 hours. I cooked this one for 8 hours, and then work was running late, so it probably sat on warm for a good bit longer than that. So this is the view of it before it starts. So after it starts, you're going to see it start to release that liquid. When you open it up, it's going to kind of look like it's dried out, but it should just shred with 2 forks. So just shred it really fine, and it'll look kind of like this once you get done. So that sauce is going to kind of look buttery, which is awesome. So this is all there is to it. I didn't put the pepperoncinis, which is part of a traditional Mississippi roast, just because the kids were going to eat it. Didn't want it to be too spicy. So this is their version. I'm using mashed potatoes. I would prefer it this way, but again, if it's keto, you can't do that. Just put some roast on top of the potatoes and add a little bit of the juice. And that's really all there is to it. So for the keto version, you can do the same thing, but I just use the cauliflower rice. It's about as good. It's not quite as good as the potatoes, but it's a good roast, and it's a good use for the top sirloin.